Hello guys, and welcome to my channel. Guys, in today's video, the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, he met with the pressmen and the contractor of the project at East-West Road, Niger Delta. He pleaded an appeal to the protestants, the youth protesting, to please vacate Section 3 of East-West Road to enable the contractors commence their job. Akpabio said he acknowledged the fact that the youth were right to stage a protest over the delay from the federal government, but now the federal government have released 2.5 billion naira to compensate the property owners along the road corridors. And he appealed to the youth, especially from Ugoli and people and the Elema local government area. He appealed to their chairman to please let them vacate the road and let the contractors continue their job. He explains far about how the job has been going on and all that. Please guys, I would like you to watch the video yourself and hear what the Senator Akpabio said and what the contractor said too, and where the job have been and how the progress have been going on. So stay tuned guys. Please don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell to stay connected. Thanks guys. Hold on and watch the video guys.
But issues continue to emerge. Today is the issue of the compensation. Now I appreciate the efforts the government is making under your leadership of this ministry, but nothing is new as far as I'm concerned. My question now is, what is the guarantee that issues will not arise again moving forward? And what is the guarantee that these measures will be sustained for this project that is older than the ministry itself to be completed for the good people of that place?
Radio Nigeria, that's a very good one. So the project itself is older than the ministry.
Yeah.
Well, it's just your question is like asking me what is the guarantee that COVID-19 will not mutate and get out of hand with in spite of the current vaccination. You know, because as you do one variant, another variant comes up like Delta. But I think that's all about life. Whenever there is a challenge that emerges, we must face it. You can see we had a very long meeting with the management of RCC at the topmost level. That's the managing director and the permanent secretary. And I had also dispatched a strong team to be in Port Harcourt for 2 days to engage the stakeholders, and they are all concerned. But we are almost getting to the end of the tunnel. The road is about 338 kilometers, and majorly a lot of it, almost 90%, or at least
85.
What percentage?
85%.
85% completed. So like you said, what is the guarantee? The guarantee is that we have already done 85%, and what remains is 15%. But you see, we are talking about a very major road that passes through a city, not just any city, but a city like Port Harcourt. And we are talking about an area that is not more than 7 to 15 kilometers. That it has not defied solution, but that it kept mutating, it kept changing because of the rapid development in Port Harcourt. In 2006, when it was contemplated, the entirety of that stretch was already dualized, and so there was no need to put it in the contract. But later on in 2014, they realized that the road had become dilapidated or something. Dilapidation had entered, and so there was need to give additional contract in order to ensure that it was done. But unfortunately, nothing happened until I became a minister on August 2019. Nothing actually happened for almost MD, how many years? 4 years?
Okay.
For 4 years, nothing actually happened. Nothing happened on that road for at least 4 years. 4 years, nothing happened on the road at all. And so there were I'm sure a lot of discussion must have been going on, like we are discussing. But in terms of action, so you see a lot of motion without movement. In terms of action on the road, nothing actually happened. And then I discovered that actually the federal government had budgeted in 2017-18 the sum of 19.6 billion, and actually transferred the road to PIDF, that is the Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund, and it was under the Sovereign Wealth Fund. But they did not. They wanted to treat it like a greenfield project, which is a project that is starting afresh, and not like a brownfield, which is a project that had gone over 80%. And so we said no, that if it is returned to the ministry, we'll be able to fully supervise it and finish. That means the president, in his wisdom, released the 19.6 billion to us and directed that we should go ahead with excavation. The issue then is, how do we raise the balance of the money, the next 100 billion, to conclude it? And that is why we had to go into a lot of funding arrangements, and it's materializing. For instance, I said in the Ministry of Niger Delta, it is better to suspend most of the small projects we are doing and focus on that East-West road because of the importance of the road. And so we put in more than 70% of our envelope into the road. And so as the money gets released, it goes into the road. And then of course, the Ministry of Finance also said to put in at least 35 billion into the road. And so we have to find a way, because the road started with Afro-Exim. It started with Exim Bank or something.
African Development Bank.
ADB.
ADB, then
African
Shopee also
And
contributed.
then after that, it went into Shopee and all that, and then it was about to go into Sukuk, and then the Sukuk actually will be better in Section 5, which is Oron to Calabar, because that is a total green field. But this brown field of Section 1 to 4, which is from Efurum, passing through Bayelsa, passing through, let's go from the Delta area, passing through Bayelsa, passing through Rivers, and then coming all the way to, it passes through Edo and all that. It passes about 5 states and comes all the way down to Akwa Ibom. And so work is ongoing. The guarantee you're talking about is the effort on the road. The section that seems like giving us issue now is the section that most of the structures that sprang up were not there in 2006 and were not contemplated. Of course, the owners are also saying we must give pay compensation. If there was proper synergy between the state government and the ministry on this road, or at least the federal government, I don't think most of those structures would have been approved. That's number one. And number two, if you could see that even the MDS did not really take cognizance of the abutment on the road. If I'm using the right engineering terminology, because there's what right of way.
Right of way.
Because the right of way has been impeded by the construction of a major substation.
At Ona Junction.
At Ona Junction by Ministry of Power, Federal Ministry of Power, and it's a very major one. So if we say move that substation, it will affect the entirety of the whole area, including Ona Port, including the PPMC depot.
Afam and
what do you call it?
Afam. Yes, sir. Nugeli Power.
Okay, Ugeli.
Yes, sir.
Ugeli, Afam, Indorama, and so many things. So it's a major area. You affect up to 50 industries. So we have to redesign the area to ensure that we save the substation and all that. So this time around, it is not as a result of inaction on the part of federal government. It is because we met major challenges and we are trying to surpass those challenges. And then in between, one of the bridges, because of the heavy traffic, over 5,000 in an hour, now collapsed. And so the community naturally rose. But I've told them it is not riot or blocking of the road that will develop the road. It's clearing the road to allow equipment to enter. That will be the solution. and I think they are listening, and that's why we are having this meeting, and that's why we are starting the action tomorrow, and that's why we are appealing to them to vacate the road and clear to allow the heavy equipment to come in, and thereafter we can have a town hall with them on how the progress of work will be seen. But we still insist that we must get out of that road after 15 years. The president is very determined to get out of that road after 15 years. He wants to get it completed by 2022 because he doesn't want to leave any abandoned project here. And he has done so well in terms of taking other abandoned projects that were left by the previous administrations. Of course, you've seen what he has done on the railway. You've seen what is going on the Lagos-Ibadan, which I'm sure is also older than the Ministry of Niger Delta. So you've seen what he has done on the Lagos, Kaduna, and all the way to Kano and other areas. You've seen the remarkable work, fantastic work done on the second Niger bridge, which of course the discussions and the drawings also are older than the Ministry of Niger Delta. Even the contemplation or the conceptualization of the second Niger bridge is far older than the Ministry of Niger Delta. It is only under President Buhari that reality has been translated to the ground. And as I speak now, a lot of work has been done. So for me, like I said, I believe that this is a president who believes in action rather than words. And he didn't start these projects. It was started under President Obasanjo, and he doesn't have 15 years in office, but he's very determined to see to the conclusion of this. And I think Niger Deltans should appreciate it. And this is outside many other projects that we have done. Because of the East-West Road, we even have to suspend commissioning of so many things that we have completed. We have completed well over 36, 37. What is ready now for commissioning up to 40 projects. Some of them are up to 50 kilometers of roads, which you are not aware, by this ministry. Not to talk of the NDDC. NDDC, like I mentioned, over 76 projects have been completed, which were jobs given sometimes 15 years ago, 14 years ago, but with the coming of the forensic audit, which is a wake-up call to any contractor that one day God may call you to ask you questions. So they've also completed those things, and you'll be joining us to commission them as soon as the forensic audit is submitted. So for me, I don't see a problem. Rather, I see a miscommunication. There is need for the various communities to support the government and allow the government to do what the government is determined to do for them, which is completing the road. We shouldn't play politics with development and infrastructure. And that's what I will not do. And that's what this president will not do.
Perhaps just one follow, Mr. Please. I want to know, my name is Oku Lily, Director of Relation. The variation and redesign on the project because of the delay in the completion. How much extra has it cost the government? Go to the percentage or direct cost, the variations. Because if it were that the road has been completed on schedule, you won't have to be talking about this compensation to the other issues that arose. So let us know the difference from the original budget for that road and what it is today.
Definitely, we should be able to announce that to you next week. That's part of the meeting we're having, but it won't be much. Why it will not be much is that the variation is going to come only on the 15% left undone. 85% had already been done. So the variation will only be, I insist, that variation will only be on the 15% yet to be done because of the fact that aggregates of construction have gone up. You understand? Cement has gone up, iron rods have gone up, even workforce has gone up, and the minimum wage has gone up, and a lot of things. So we are not going to, it's not something that is going to be beyond the reach of government. Thank you. Let's go by next year, as earlier announced by Mr. President. And I've been assured after a very robust discussion with the RCC construction company that yes, indeed, given the requisite funds, they can still meet up with the deadline earlier announced. So my appeal now is for the youths and the concerned citizens of the Niger Delta region, particularly the Ogoni people and the Eleme local government people, to give way for the construction giants to move in and commence work, while the other while we wait for the approval of the redesign, which we have submitted already to the federal government. There are processes, and we are on top of the situation. So what we have done now is that we had earlier given about 4.9 billion for compensation, which represented the normal 15%, but they couldn't do much because after 14 to 15 years, a lot of structures have come up and there is need for compensation. So we've decided to touch the contingency fund enshrined in the contract to take care of the compensation. And we have directed that the consultants should start the compensation from tomorrow. And of course the construction giant should move in from tomorrow at the same time. But we are still committed to making sure that the redesign is approved by the Federal Executive Council, and that's going through the normal due process of the Bureau of Public Procurement and all that. But how we get to that point is not your business, is the business of the ministry. But just to let you know that we are on top of the situation. And to assist us to move the heavy equipment in on that road with the situation it is now, we appeal to the chairman of Eleme local government area and the other chairman of the four local governments of Ogoni land to clear the way and allow free flow of traffic and the youths to depart from the road to enable us to do a good job. I believe that the essence of going to the road to protest was to get government attention. They did not know that government already had given proper attention to that road. It's just that I don't like the idea of running government on pages of newspapers. We have been doing a lot. The ministry, permanent secretary went there with a team to explain to the elders, and I think they were satisfied. And I want to also be there in person, but not explanation any longer, but to see the work ongoing. So the little that we have at the moment, we have released a further 2.5 billion to help us to ensure the compensation while the contractors commence work immediately on that road. I think that's what I wanted to let you know. And I think this is critical because while that work is going on, the expansion job will still take place. We'll need to do a flyover where we do not contemplate a flyover because of the kind of structures that have come to block the right of way. We need to also do a second flyover at Akpabio Junction, which was initially not contemplated, and the contractors have the capacity to do so. And then we have also made sacrifices from the ministry. In the 2021 budget, we have dropped or suspended over 304 projects to make adequate provision also from the little we have in the budget for the East-West Road, and the Ministry of Finance has also done so, has also made provision for it. And we have even said where the need arises, one or two of the major projects we are putting on that road to ensure durability, either the flyovers or the bridges could even be handled by the NDC. And so to this end, for 2020 and 2021, NDC has already budgeted about 35 billion to also assist in that road. We are trying to do a congregation of monies to ensure the completion of that road by next year because of the economic importance. But I'm sure the youths were not properly briefed, otherwise they would have given us time to work. And in most parts of Niger Delta, major road constructions are actually not done in the rainy season. So that's why it seems that every time there is any major problem on the road, we try to do a bit of repairs, for us to remedial work to enable traffic to flow. But we are committed to ensuring that the road is properly done. So I don't know whether the MD of RCC will have something to say. We have finished our own plan and we have finished our design, and the funding is not an issue. And I feel I should let the press know this and appeal to the youths of the element of Godswill section to vacate the road and allow free flow of traffic so that from tomorrow heavy equipment can enter the ready situation. No amount of 1 week, 2 week protest can do the road. It's only the equipment that can do the road, and that's what I know. I believe in action, not in words. So I thank you so much.
Your Excellency, thank you very much. We already discussing like several hours situation in the Eleme Junction, only part of the East-West Road, and we get to conclusion that the main issue that delaying us to enter to Eleme Junction area is the compensation for the indigents that they have properties and have to be paid for their properties to leave it, and then we can enter and demolish the properties, because we are planning, as the minister said, we are trying to do 6 lanes, 3 and 3. So there is a lot of properties inside that corridor of the route, and there is a lot of compensation to be paid. According to the consultant, we need to pay like 1.7 billion. This money will be released from the ministry tomorrow to us, and we will release it immediately to the consultant to start paying the indigents and the owners of the houses and the properties. Where any area will be paid and clear, we can start kicking the properties from there and clean the road and do the 6 lanes. Thank you very much.
Maybe just to also add that we have also discussed with the chairman of Eleme local government, and we expect that he will give us the opportunity immediately to move into that road. And most of these new structures were not there as of 2006. So they were not captured in the original contract. But of course, after 15 years of delay, we have no option than to do what we have to do. And that is why we are taking on this, and we know Mr. President definitely is very concerned about that route, and it will be agreeable to the new design. It's not a problem. We must get that road well done. And we didn't plan for 6 lanes in the first instance, but we want to do so because of the volume of traffic. We have almost 5,000 trucks now passing that place. We have and so I believe that action starts from tomorrow on this, and then the necessary approvals will be obtained by the ministry. Thank you.